spring is near. There is no one calling, but the sound is clear. No, I'm not yet gone. I'm still not here.
So to get started, you're gonna need your props. So I said 2 blocks, but if you don't have blocks, then a dense pillow will work for this. And you're gonna lie down over it. So dense pillow, you'll probably want 1 long pillow or 2. If you're using blocks, then you're gonna set them up like a T to start. So both on the lowest setting, one kind of long way in the mat and one perpendicular to that. And then you're gonna come sitting with your booty just a little ways away from that block. With your hands, find your prop, your pillow, whatever you're using, and come to rest down so that you feel that prop hitting you right at the middle of your back. So where your lumbar spine and your thoracic spine, so concave, convex, meet. Ladies, that's generally right where your bra strap is. Maybe men too. Extra support. So you're gonna come to rest down on that and then open your chest down. You might feel a snap, crackle, pop as you lower yourself down. And then with the second prop or block, you're gonna place it underneath your head. If you want a really big chest opener, you can go without that upper support. And again, this can be done with a pillow, or even if you have an extra yoga mat, you could roll that up and lay down over that. If you have a foam roller, that's another really good prop that you can use for this. So once you set yourself up where you feel your upper spine supported, relax your arms down by your side, palms face up. You can keep your feet planted on the mat or extend your legs wide and let them just drop down to the side. So set yourself up. Let yourself melt over your props. Nice. And then once you feel yourself supported, you start to feel a little bit of release. This ability to let go a little bit. You might notice that it's really hard to let go. As you're laying over this block, you might notice some constrictions in your chest. You might notice a gripping even. And so take a moment here, letting your breath be easy in and out, to notice where you have tension. And tonight's class, the physical focus is on our chest and on our upper back, creating opening here. And the mental focus that I'd like you to pair with it is something that you're potentially holding on to, that you know you just need to make a commitment to yourself to let that go. And I know for me, I went through this last fall when I decided to finally close down and get off of my social media accounts. I was holding on But it was just such a time suck for me. I wasn't feeling good about going on social media. I felt like I was always taking pictures to post them on social media. And so that was a really big letting go. You know, it's not always easy. Sometimes you're still feeling like you're missing out. You don't know what's going on in everybody's life. But also maybe that's okay. So as you sit here, or lie here rather, over your creative ensemble of props, and feel your sternum, especially those cartilage connections between your sternum and the ribs as they wrap around to the front, as you feel that starting to get just a little bit more open. Use your breath to expand into that opening. Notice where you're holding back. Can you make your breath a little bit fuller with each inhale? And with each exhale, can you feel your muscles, your body rest completely down onto the props? If you haven't already, then seal your lips so that you're breathing in and out through your nose. Noticing the gentle constriction at the back of your throat so you can hear your breath like the sound of wind moving down a canyon. So you notice when it comes in, and you notice when it comes out. This practice is also about being gentle with your body, where it is right now. So as we move into chest openers or back bends, essentially they're the same thing, at least in my book. A lot of times you might notice that ego wanting to creep in. You want to make it the biggest back bend ever. But maybe you're not warmed up enough. Maybe your spine's not ready, or potentially you've, put on some COVID pounds, or just not been as active or moving as much. And so allow yourself to move into where you are now, not worry about where you were a year ago, where you were in your 20s, what you could do. Instead, accepting your body as this is the starting point. Slowly start to raise your arms up overhead as you inhale. And as you exhale, move your arms down. Letting your palms rest down on the ground. Inhale up. And exhale down. Begin to notice as you raise your arms up how that starts to maybe intensify the opening in your chest, the curvature in your upper back. Exhale down. And as your hands come down, you feel the pressure of your spine moving lower on the blocks. 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last time. Inhale up. And exhale down. All right, hands down on the side. Walk your feet in so they're behind your hips. Drop your knees to one side and roll off your props. Coming to a fetal position. Then reach around, find your props. Very graceful movement. And move them off to the side. Then you're going to slowly roll back onto your back. And this time we're going to come into Patagonia, Supta, which means supine, Patagonia. So soles of the feet together, knees open out wide. Now, if this is a lot on your hips, Find those props that you use under your spine and you can support underneath your knees here at an angle. Place both of your palms face down on your hips, points, fingers pointing in towards the pelvis. As you breathe in, again, feel your breath move into your chest. It's not going to be quite as much of an expansion on the front side of the body, more universal. And then exhale, out and down. Inhale. Exhale, feeling the support of your spine now all the way on the mat. No elevation. You're going to take the heels of your hands. You're going to bring them to your hip crease. Fingers point out towards your knees. Inhale. Exhale, press your hands into your legs and find a little spinal traction. You might even notice your belly sucking in as your spine gets long. Inhale, bend your elbows gently. Exhale, press palms into the top of your thighs. Feel your spine get long. Last time, inhale. And exhale. And release that. Bring your hands to the outside of your knees. Gently draw them in together. And you're going to bring both knees up into your chest. Give them a gentle squeeze. Roll a little bit from side to side. So now we're focusing on the lumbar spine, so the bottom of our spine. Our low back is curled. The pelvis is lifted. You feel a gentle rocking movement. Now start to make circles with your knees. So you transition that sensation, that awareness of your spine, down to the very base of your spine at your sacrum and then up. And now switch directions. So just waking up, top, middle, bottom of your spine. All right. Pause, bring your knees back into center. Flex your feet. Bring your knees out so that your femurs are perpendicular to the ground. And then you're going to take that prop that you had, and you're going to place it between your knees. Squeeze that block. So this will work too if it's a pillow. Squeeze that prop between your knees. Activate your feet. So this is a good forest yoga, which is what we did last week. You know, always activating your toes. So see if your toes can spread wide. And take your hands, interlace them, and cradle the back of your head. So you're supporting the weight of your neck. So the cervical spine up at the top, it does a lot of work all day. It often curls. So we want to give it a little bit of a release. Elbow tips should be in your peripheral vision. Inhale, squeeze the block. See if you can lift your knees up so you feel your low back pressing down. Exhale, curl both elbow tips up and then over to the left. So both shoulder blades are off the mat. Inhale, come to center. Lowering down just halfway, squeeze the block, lift your knees. Exhale, curl up and over to the right. Draw your navel down. Inhale, center. Flex your toes, spread them, knees up. Exhale to the left. Chin stays lifted off your chest. Inhale, center. Exhale, curl up and over to the right. Inhale, center, release your head down. Bend your knees, plant them on the ground. Keep that block or pillow between your knees. Inhale, squeeze, lift up into bridge pose. Setu Bandha. All right, interlace your hands. Press the pinky edge down, walk your shoulders underneath your chest. Squeeze that block, reach your knees forward. Inhale, see if you can reach the crown of your head back. Lengthen your spine, take another breath in. And breath out. Last time, inhale. Exhale, release your hands, lower your spine back down. Lift your knees up. So if you're using a block or something that's got some hardness to it, where you can apply some pressure, this time what you're gonna do is you're gonna place that block on your right knee. Take your right elbow, bring it onto that block. You can also use, like I was looking around, like a Bluetooth speaker, like a long Bluetooth speaker or something like that to create this kind of pressure. And if you don't have anything that works, then you just bring the block back between your knees or your prop. All right, lift up halfway, squeeze your knees together. Inhale, exhale, curl up, bring your left elbow around as though it could someday get to that right knee. Inhale, exhale, curl. Inhale, exhale, curl. Keep that pressure between your right elbow and the block or the prop. Inhale, lower down. You're going to bring it to the inside of the right knee. Now bring your left elbow into that block. Inhale. Exhale, curl your right elbow towards your right knee. Keep the pressure left elbow across. Inhale, lower down halfway. Keep your legs active. Exhale, lift the right elbow. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lower down. We'll switch the block. First, actually, let's take a bridge pose in between knees down. So inhale, lift up. Why all of this core work tonight that we're getting into our chest and back bends? One thing that we generally lose sight of when we're trying to go into a really big chest opener or back bend is how much our core needs to work to support our low back when we get into those deep bends. So we want to really turn on our core here, make sure that they're fired up, that we are aware of where they are so that we can bring them into the equation. Exhale, lower down from your bridge. Bring your knees up. Take that block, place it on the left knee. Left elbow meets. Interlace your hands. Inhale. Exhale, curl up. See if you can draw your right elbow across to that left knee. Inhale, lower down halfway. Exhale, curl. Keeping that pressure so this knee doesn't move, even though you're drawing it in. One more time, inhale. Exhale, curl. Lower down, take the block, place it on the inside of your left knee. Place the right elbow on that block. Keep the pressure. So right now, your core is already engaged. Inhale. Exhale, curl. Inhale. Squeeze your knees together. Keep the pressure on the block. Exhale, curl left elbow towards left knee. Last time, inhale. And exhale. I slowly release. Place the block away. Roll again onto your side and gently come up into all fours. Curling all the way around. We're going to move right into dolphin pose. Bring your forearms down to the mat. Grab hold of your biceps and then plant your forearms down. If you are using a block tonight, you can bring the block in between your palms and take dolphin pose that way. You can also bring palms down, thumbs curl around the block. If you're not having a block, then you can keep palms down or interlace your hands. Gaze back between your biceps, curl your toes. Inhale, lift your hips up. Exhale, press down through your palms and your forearms to shift your chest back. So you start to, again, feel that chest opening. It's a very similar sensation to being over the mat. This time with the extra bonus of opening up our hamstrings. So keep your gaze back. Crown of your head lifted over the mat. Inhale, walk your feet in as far as they'll go. And then exhale, press back. Palms pressing down into the mat or squeezing the block, Or if you have the interlace, then pressing the pinky edge down. Try and keep your elbows from turning out and going over to the outside edges of your mat. And then walk maybe your toes in a little bit closer, get your hips as high as they can go. Exhale, release your heels down. See if you can stay for 2 more breaths. Keep the engagement, inhale. Spread in your upper back. Exhale, release down your legs. Inhale. This time as you exhale, move your knees back, or feet back rather, knees come down. Walk your hands forward. We're gonna move into Anahata Asana, heart melting pose. Keep your booty way high up in the air over your knees. Walk your hands forward and then bring your forehead down. So your elbows stay lifted off the mat. Arms are engaged. As you rest your forehead down, feel your chest melting down towards the mat. If you want a little bit deeper of a back bend here, lift up, gaze at your thumbs, exhale, lower chin and chest down at the same time. See if you can close your eyes wherever you are and really find your heart melting down. Find that sensation again of the front of your ribs getting a little bit more space, and breathe into that. Where is there clenching? Where is there tightness? Where can you let go? Lift your gaze slowly, press yourself up, walk your hands in, coming into all fours. Place your hands directly under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, so you have a good foundation. And then from here, we'll do a gentle cat-cow pose. It's also called chakra vakasana, which means like continual churning or churning wheel. So I'd like you to think of it as more of a fluid movement, not whipping your chin up and dropping your chin down, but instead like a churning wheel. Inhale up, undulate the spine, exhale, leading with the chin, let the movement ripple down your spine so your tail tucks at the very end. Always initiating with your head. Inhale, come forward and through, drop your belly down, find an opening in your chest, and then exhale, leading with your head, let it ripple down to your tailbone. You can make this as exaggerated or as minimal as a movement as feels good. Letting it stay fluid though. Maybe even finding a little bit of roll in your shoulders. And focusing on that ripple effect along your spine. Notice if you're engaging your core, or when you're down here in the cow pose, if you really do have udders just hanging down, are you disengaged? Can you still bring your navel up and in to hold and support you in this pose? And then start to slow down the movement, making it a smaller ripple until you're back into all fours. All right, slowly extend your right leg back, activate it. See if you can spread your toes. Inhale, reach your chin forward. Exhale, take a chaturanga dandasana. So pause for a moment, look at the screen. One thing that people do sometimes in chaturanga is they dip forward and the shoulder head takes all of the weight. When you come forward into your chaturanga, lower down only to the amount that your bicep comes parallel so that your shoulder head never drops below your elbow. All right, now we'll do it all together. Come back to all fours. Right leg lifts, inhale, reach your chin forward, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, press up and back, right leg down. Got a little extra on that side. Inhale, left leg back. Right toes can stay tucked or press the foot down. Activate the left leg. Inhale forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, press up. Exhale, left knee down. You're going to do that on both sides again. Inhale, right leg long. Exhale, forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, right knee down. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, right leg lifts again. Now we're going to start to stabilize again. Start to lift the left arm up. Keep your gaze down. Inhale. Exhale, tap elbow to knee. You might be able to pull past, but I want you to make that connection, pressing into the opposite. Just like we did with the block and abs. Inhale, lift. I think we've done this before. Exhale, bend your right leg, reach back, tap your big toe, or tap towards that big toe. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, curl in, elbow to knee. Inhale, up. Exhale, tap. Inhale. Exhale, curl. Inhale, up. Exhale, tap, hold. Find your fingers across your right foot. Get a hold of that. Find the inside of that leg and then begin to kick your right leg into your left palm. Keep pressing your right palm down into the mat. Notice here, did you disengage or let go of your navel, your lunar core? Pull it in, let that help you find this back bend. One more breath in. Whew, feel those quads burn. Exhale, slowly release. Straighten and then come down. Whew, and then maybe take some Chakravakasana, but more in a lateral barrel roll. And then the other side. Just shake it off. All right, stabilize, come into midline. Lift your left leg. Start to bring more weight into your left hand. And then lift your right arm up. Spread your left palm. You want pinky down, thumb up. So that's externally rotating your arm, but keeping it engaged, shoulder head plugged in. Lift your navel center up, inhale. Exhale, bend your knee. Draw elbow in to your knee. Press into the opposite. Find your navel turning on. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend, tap. So especially if you're not looking at what's going on behind your head, they do this sometimes in primal yoga. So it's, finding where your finger and where your foot is in space without looking. It's tricky. Inhale, reach your arms out, leg out. Exhale, tap elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, finger to toe over the back. Last time, inhale, extend. Exhale, down. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tap fingers to toes, and then work your hand across the top of your foot. I also like to put my thumb into the arch. Press strongly into your right or left palm. Begin to kick your left leg into your right hand and turn on your core so that your core is supporting the compression in your low back so that it's not just a deep V-like bend, But instead, the shape starts to radiate down and up your spine, and it's supported in the front and the back. Another breath in. Ooh, exhale, slowly release. Extend your arms out, and then bring your hand down under your shoulder. From here, spread both palms. Find the weight evenly distributed between your right and your left hand. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift your knees up. Straighten, come into plank. Inhale, knees come down to hover. Exhale, hips back. Inhale, forward, plank. Exhale, hover back. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, hover back, hold. Keep your arms strong. Start to straighten your legs. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Walk your feet out wide for this first down dog so that the middle toe is in line with the middle of your mat. Bend your knees generously. Press into your hands. Let your chest reach back towards the space between your legs. Relax your neck down. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. One more time. Inhale. This time, open mouth exhale. Again, what can you let go? Maybe even stick your tongue out. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale. Really loud exhale. Inhale, move your gaze forward. Bring your feet back to hip width distance apart. And then exhale, you can take a little hop or step, step, step to the front of your mat. If you hop, try doing it with no air in your lungs. Feet hip width distance at the front. Inhale, press into your shins, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stretch your arms all the way up. Exhale, cactus your arms, pull your elbows down, chest opener. Again, draw your navel in. Feel this shape like a crescent moon come from the base of your spine all the way up to that very top, atlas vertebra. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Find that midline, that balancing point where you feel the bones stack, the weight drop down into your heels. Drop your arms, inhale, swing them up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into your shins, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. So we'll have an opportunity here to practice our Chaturanga Dandasana. If you want to, you can always take this on your knees. Inhale. Exhale, lower down halfway. Kick your toes back. Inhale, pull your chest up and through, upward facing dog. So this is a really great place to, again, practice our chest openers. Press your feet down, activate your legs, press your hands into the mat, pull your shoulder heads back and reach your chest through. Engage your core. Feel how that might take some of the compression out of your low back. Another inhale, exhale, leading with your hips, curl over your toes, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, take a breath in and a breath out. And inhale. If you liked that open mouth exhale, do it here. Ha. One more time. Ha. Inhale, look forward. Exhale all of the air out. Step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, draw your elbows down. Open your chest. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into your shins. Exhale, plant your hands, step, step back, plank. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, lower down halfway. Again, shoulder heads never drop below the elbows. Kick your toes back. Inhale, pull your chest through. Adho Mukha Svanasana, upward facing. Exhale, or Urdhva Mukha, and then this is Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Got two dogs looking at me, having me at the door like, lady, what you doing? Looks like you want to play. Okay, Brooklyn, you go away. Take another breath in, and another breath out. Slowly bring your knees down to the mat. We're going to do that dolphin pose one more time here, because it is so good at working on the strength needed in our shoulders to also create that back bend. So coming down onto forearms, it's also a really great pose that's gentle on the wrists, right? So maybe even roll those wrists out a little bit. And then press palms, forearms into the mat. You want your forearms to be parallel. Gaze between your forearms, tuck your toes. Inhale, lift hips up and back. Feet hip width distance apart. Press your palms down. Inhale into your upper back, lift your hips. Exhale, press your forearms into the mat. See if you can shift the weight more back. So as though the hips were a midpoint in this pendulum, you want to make sure that you're even so that there is weight moving into your feet here and it's not all in the upper body. Relax your head down. Inhale. Exhale, press your forearms into the mat. See if you can open in your chest and you'll feel that compression in your shoulder blades. Press more through your forearms. Inhale into that spot where you find that compression. Exhale. Keep pressing your thumbs down. Keep them planted on the mat. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, bring your knees down. This time, bring your knees out wide. Big toes together to touch, child's pose. And then when you set your arms down, keep them long, bring palms together, forehead down. Rest your thumbs on the back of your head. It might feel good to walk your elbows as far forward, then release your head down again. And as you release the weight of your hips over your heels, feel a stretch along the back of your arm. Inhale, release your hands forward. Shoulder width distance apart, roll forward, tuck your toes, exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, this time lift your left leg up. Exhale, step your left foot forward, bring it between your hands. Tense your fingers and draw your left knee between your arms. Keep your right leg super straight. So you have a nice long lunge. Inhale, reach both arms up, coming into a high lunge position, and see if you can draw that right or left knee over your left ankle. Inhale, exhale, interlace your hands overhead. Again, you're going to come and support the back of your neck. Bring the pinky edge over the base of your skull, wrapping your palms around. Inhale, pull your elbow tips up. You can bring as much pressure into the base of your skull as feels good. So this is starting to stretch and elongate those last 7 vertebrae right at the base of the base of your head, top of your spine. All right, as you draw your elbow tips up, notice, did your ribs start to flare open. Can you pull them back in like you could suture right down the midline of your core? And then keep lifting those elbow tips up. Take one more breath in. And exhale, release. Bring your hands down. And then you're going to slowly transition into warrior three. Now, if you have a block or a water bottle, you want to make sure that's near the front of your mat. Start to move into your left foot. Lift your right leg up. Hands can move onto a block, onto 2 blocks. A water bottle can be helpful, or fingertips on the ground. Right away, notice if that right hip is lifting, dial it back down. Flex your feet, toes point down towards the mat. You can gaze down the length of your right leg. And then you can do a check. Notice if your toes are going out to the side and pull them back in. Press more through that left leg. Pressing it into the ground. Take a breath in and out. Maybe move your hands up to heart center for a little extra challenge. Breath in. And breath out. Slowly bend that standing leg. Step back into your high lunge. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, open up, warrior two. All right, so now our hips are open to the side. Reach your arms out. Inhale. Exhale, reverse warrior. Keeping that bend in the front knee. Inhale, come up. Exhale, extended side angle. I want you to bring the hand down to the outside of your foot. Sweep your right arm up overhead. Then bring your right hand to your hip. Your hips are open. You're going to start to work forward again. This time, keeping the hips stacked. Again, you can take a block, place it underneath your left hand. You can use a water bottle. You can go for the floor. Maybe you keep your knee bent. That's totally fine. If it's windy in your room, then try doing this against a wall for support and lean back into that wall. Totally fine. It's great. We're at home. If you want a little bit extra into the back bend, bend your back, bend your lifted leg. Again, reach back, tap. This time we're not crossing our body, but it's still finding that connection hand to foot without the visual. Keep your gaze down. Kick your right foot into your right hand. So this is Ardha Chandrasana, or half moon pose. Another breath. And exhale, release. Cartwheel both hands down. Feel yourself close your hips off. So right hip comes down. And then step back. Place both hands down. And then step the left foot back. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in. And take a breath out. And if that lion's breath feels good, you can make it really exaggerated, bringing the tongue all the way to the bottom of the chin. Take another breath here. Letting something go. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Tense your fingertips. Draw your right knee to stack over your right ankle. So you have a nice long lunge. Left leg is super strong, supporting you. Press through that right leg. Come up. High lunge. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Lift your gaze to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Take the opposite interlace of your hands. Support those top 7 vertebrae. Wrap your palm around. Inhale. Lengthen your elbow tips up. Exhale. Commit a little bit more in your lunge. Engage your core. Again, I like to think of sutures, stitching my ribs together, keeping them drawing in around my diaphragm and then all the way down to my navel. Breath in, breath out. One more time. And inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot. We're going to start to transition forward, Virabhadrasana 3. Slowly move your hands forward. Lift your left leg, find the prop or fingers to the floor. See if you can lift your right hip more, dial your left hip down, flex your toes on that left foot, and make sure that they are reaching down towards the mat. As though there was a wall behind you, you could just push that foot into the wall. In fact, that's another way you could do this pose a little bit more balanced. Step back. Find something to actually press your foot into. Make sure it's parallel with the floor. It's not cheating. It'll help you find that engagement in your left leg. And then maybe bring palms up to heart center. Whew. Take a breath in and out. And slowly start to bend the right knee. Come back into your high lunge. Arms up, inhale. Exhale, open up, Virabhadrasana 2. So some things to remember as you're transitioning from your high lunge into your warrior 2, you want to make sure that your heel lines up with your arch. And then hips now square to the side, arms out, inhale. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, extended side angle, bring your hand to the outside of your foot. So that's going to help you keep your chest open as we transition into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. All right, so left arm is overhead and then bring it down. Find your left hip. Bend generously into the right knee and start to walk forward onto that left leg. Hand to the outside, about a foot in front of your right foot. Stack your hips. I like to take an open palm and just manually move that hip back. And then again, you can stay here. You can do this up against a wall. If you want to, you can start to bend that left leg, reach back with the left hand. Ardha Chandrasana Chapasana. Again, keep your core engaged. Take a breath in and a breath out. So release that leg, cartwheel, both hands down, and then rotate your hips to square. So a lot of times it's hard to have that awareness of hips open, hips closed. And I find this to be a really good way to just close the door of the hips. Step your left leg back, and then your right. 3 breaths in downward facing dog. Again, you can find that lion's breath, letting something go. Make it loud. We're all on mute except for me. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, breath in. And breath out. Then from your down dog, slowly bring both of your knees down to the mat. So if you have sensitive knees and you have a thin mat, then you want to lift the middle of your mat up, draw it back so that it folds upon itself, and then bring your knees onto that part of your mat. We're going to move into camel pose, which is also called Ustrasana in Sanskrit. So this is going to be our big heart opener back bend pose. Lots of core though is what I want us to have in this position. So as you stack your knees onto your mat, take both fists, bring them down in between your knees so that when you stand up onto your knees and your hips line up. And we've gone over this once, but you want the midline of your femur, so where you feel your femur head connecting into your pelvis, into your hips, that to be parallel. All right. And then from there, bring your hands to your hips. Work your thumbs back so that they can find the top of your sacrum, that very fused vertebra at the very bottom. Gently draw your thumbs down. So you feel this slight anterior pelvic tilt. Draw your navel in. Inhale, lift your chin up. So we're thinking about bottom of chin, palatal plane, at first parallel with the floor. Shoulders come up together and down your back. Breathe in. Exhale, start to tip that palatal plane back. Inhale, lift from knees through pelvis all the way up. Now your sternum is more like the top. Exhale, tip that palatal plane back. Keep your core engaged. Inhale. Keep your hands stabilizing your hips. Exhale, draw your thumb slightly down, finding that pelvic tilt. Inhale, lift your sternum up, elbow shifts together. Exhale, back. See if you can do that 2 more breaths. Draw your knees towards each other. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Last time, inhale, core engaged. Support your low back, draw your pelvis gently down and up in the front. And then on your next inhale, come up. Whew. Exhale, sit down on your heels. If you want to, you have that dense pillow or that block, you can bring it down between your heels and let your palms come down onto your thighs. Close your eyes. Take 3 Ujjayi breaths. So you just hear that sound of your breath like wind through a canyon. At the bottom of your 3rd breath, gently open your eyes. We'll do that one more time, our Ustrasana camel pose. This time, if you'd like to, you can tuck your toes under and drop your hands back to find your heels. If you don't want to do that because you're afraid you might never get back up, that's totally fine. Keep your hands on your hips. All right, so we'll all start with our hands on our hips, thumbs finding the top of our sacrum, gently drawing it down so that we keep our hips right over our knees. We don't want our hips to drop back. Instead, we want to stay grounded from the pelvis down. Let the curvature, let the chest opener radiate from the upper body. All right, starting with our palatal plane parallel to the ground. Inhale and exhale. Feel the energy drop down. Inhale, draw your shoulders up together and exhale down your back. Inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale, keeping your hips stabilized. Start to draw your gaze back over the ceiling. If you start to notice that you're getting some compression in your low back, do a check-in with your core. Is it working? Is it turned on? Do you have to maybe come out a little bit? Don't let the ego lead. And if you feel good, you can Drop your hands back, find your heel. So this is again, finding that connection finger to heels without looking. Fingertips will come to the inside, thumbs out. So that'll help you keep your chest open. Again, notice if you were tipping back, press your hips forward as though you were doing this into a wall and you had to keep your femur heads and your hip points touching that wall. Take 3 more breaths here. Inhale 2. Exhale. This time, inhale, find those tight spots. Exhale, let it go. Engage your core, bring your hands back to your hips. Inhale, come up. Untuck your toes. Exhale, come back down. Heels or hips over heels. Hands down onto your thighs. Take breath in. Exhale, closing your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly unwind your mat. If you have it folded, simply swing your legs around to the front and extend them out in front of you. Lower down onto your back. Draw your knees into your chest, give them a gentle tug. And then you'll take your right leg over your left. So especially after a big back bend, feels really good to take a nice, juicy spinal twist. You'll let both knees drop to the left side. Extend your right palm out. And then try and keep your gaze up towards the ceiling. So you're not over rotating your spine. It might feel good to draw your knees a little bit closer up towards your armpits to get a little bit more rounding and release in your low back, your lumbar spine. Coming back to the very beginning of class, can you melt your body down? Letting the form, the shape, become a little bit more of a passive hold. Letting gravity start to make manipulations. Letting go a little bit of that need to control. Need to force yourself into a shape. Let it be a little bit more fluid. Allowing your body to move where it can and accepting where it is right now. Slowly roll back into center. Unwind your legs. Pause here, feet a little bit wider than your hips, and then just lift your hips up and then let them drop down. Do that 3 times. Feeling a gentle tap of your sacrum on the floor. And then we'll move to the next side. Left leg over right. Drop both knees over to the right. Extend your left arm out. Keeping your gaze up towards the ceiling and maybe letting your eyes come to close. Letting your breath move in and out of your lungs at whatever cadence comes natural. Feeling how your body settles with each exhale. Noticing where you might still be gripping. Essentially, it's in your face, around your ears or your jaw.
Let that skin melt away from the bridge of your nose. Let your ears move farther back towards the mat. Let any furrows in your brow melt. My toddler told me I had cracks in my forehead the other day. Let those cracks just melt away. All right, and then slowly roll back into center. Unwind your feet. Again, lift your hips up and let them drop just gently 3 times. Letting those ripples move to all the wobbly bits. It doesn't matter. And then extend your legs out. Let your toes drop out to the side. Just give me a couple breaths here in Shavasana. If you need to stay here longer, feel free. Otherwise, slowly roll yourself to one side and gently up. Taking a cross-legged position or another seat that feels good. Bring your hands together to heart center. Take a deep breath in and out. Really notice again that area behind your sternum where your ribs connect in. Let your thumbs rest there. Take a deep breath in. Notice if it can move into that space a little bit easier. And out. And draw your thumbs up to third eye center. Be curious. Follow your bliss. Namaste.